Now we're gonna tie this one right here. So a sulphur spinner, antron wing. It's got a little bit of orange dubbing in the front, buyout body. This is a size 16, and what is that right there? It's a Sprite 16 all-purpose drawer. Is that S1401? Yeah. This is probably the biggest you're going to tie it. Maybe a 14. I would probably fish that, you know, when you can barely see, essentially. So, you know, that last 15 minutes of the night, last 20 minutes of the night, so that you could see it better, a little bit bigger. Fish are less spooky then too, so it helps. Thread is this is like a yellow. It's a Giorgio Benici ultrafine. That's 12-0 with the strength of 8-0. Doesn't really matter where you tie this thing on. I go down to the point. And coq de leon for the tail. You can use whatever you want. Microfibbits, a lot of people like those. Now, all I'm doing is just measuring here. I think I'm going to do it. It's about a hook. Maybe, you know, you can go a hair more if you want. And I'm going onto the shank, and then I'm going underneath. And one turn on top. So the body, biot body. This is the color I'm using. Sort of like a neon type yellow. Now when you put this on here, you want to make sure, I'm just tying it on at the tip, you want to make sure that when you wrap it, the barb of the biot is going to be towards the hook. It's going to be on the hook side, not the eye side. Here's the hackle plier I use. It's like a teardrop. I like it because it's light, but it also has good grip. A little super glue here. You don't have to go too crazy. You can probably see how close those barbs are together. That's the way I like to do it. Now if you have the barbs on the front and the flat part on the back, it means your turns are going to be a lot wider. That's pretty rock solid. Wing is the antron. I usually just cut off a piece, maybe 2 inches long. Just makes it easier to work with. And I will put 3 turns on like that. I grab the side closest to me and I twist it the other way. And then I put 3 turns on the opposite way. There we go. 2, 3. And then I'm just making sure that it's perpendicular to the shank. And then I get 1 turn onto the shank. And now I do 1 turn around the wing and then onto the shank, and then around the other wing and around the shank in the front. Just try not to trap in anything. Then I'll bring it to the back again. So orange, I use a little orange dubbing sometimes. This one happens to be Wapsi. and it doesn't really matter what type of dubbing you use. It's really about the color. This one happens to be Bighorn Orange. Now you don't have to use dubbing. You could just color the thread orange, or you don't even have to put any orange in there, honestly. But I like to do it just to give it a little, I don't know, a little extra flair. Now, when you do this with dubbing, you don't want to use too much. You use too much, it's gonna look ridiculous. So you got to be super thin, super thin. Now all I'm doing is making one turn this way and one turn that way, and that's really it. You're just giving it a little bit of color. Just a little bit. It doesn't matter if you see the thread either, because in reality it's not all orange. It's like an orange thorax, and then it kind of turns back into yellow a little bit. And I put a little cement on the thread. I notice I have the wing. I haven't cut the wing yet. It's just so I can get it out of the way, nice and easy. Bunch of turns. Clip it off. And we look at this wing. Now the wing, it can be a hair long, obviously not this long, but you know, to the back of the hook. The first cut. And then once you get it close, then you can kind of trim it up. Good idea is to use a needle. To flare out the wing. And let's make it even. See that? And this pattern's good because you can just switch it up. This one happens to be a blue wing olive, and all you're doing is just changing the color of the thread and the biot. This is the green that I use for a blue wing olive. Let's see it next to the, see that? See the difference? And the thread I use for that is the Giorgio Benici olive ultra fine. And as far as sizes are concerned, I said you can go up to 14 probably at when it's real dark, but I would go down to maybe 20. 20 is not really a sulphur; it's more like a pale morning dun. But with this olive here, you go down to 22. Without a doubt, 22. I mean, those things are tiny. They really are tiny. It's almost like you can't make them small enough, honestly. So yeah, so sulphur spinner, Antron wing. Easy, easy flutter tie. All right.